Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas and what is still called the Educational Channel, which is a channel that is meant to support and explain further the theory of sound in form, but especially not just the theory, but mostly the demonstrations that you need to understand the theory and to show you some examples how this theory works in the results. The theory is about it's an understanding of the letters and letter combinations, how you can recognize them in words, and it proves actually that there is a real method possible that shows you that all the letter combinations are really in fact at its correct place, and they are following certain rules, that they clearly are following rules of placements of directions in time and space. There's a way to make it a bit more easy as a transition, that you change them into a form so that you can follow this process a little bit better. The underlying theory, which is in the deeper layer, shows you where these references are really referring to dimensions, to not just to forms, but really placements, really clear placements. And these clear placements in combination are a bit more difficult now and then, but if you really understand the theory well, it lessens, this difficulty lessens, and you know immediately where every letter combination is heading to. This time, I imagined this morning, I think, okay, I will do dance. I will do the word dance. So that's what I do today. And I will start from the D. So just not too many explanations, but the D in general, I associated it a lot of times with something like pressure. There's a whole reason why this form is used as a practical form. That is not the rule to use this practical form, but the underlying thing that is there is a reference point in time and space, which is actually in the fourth dimension. Means this is a reference point that goes a little bit beyond the three-dimensional space of steady references. So it is a pressure point to change. It's a pressure point that makes changes, that will change the form sometimes as well, and it will always have this reference point of change or movement. So you can say that in general as well. If you are combined it with A, this of course it will says that this movement will be from a central position or lead. The N is the filling in of a certain content and an area, or also an area in which to do so. And with the S in the end, you will also associate it with interaction. I will not go too deep into these elements, because they have reference points that have a whole world in it that is explained in sound in form, but the result of it is that you immediately can understand dance by understanding the reference points. So what are the reference points of the Dutch word dance, which is almost the same as dance in English? Dance then is, if we read the puzzle, if we read the combination of the letters, we read here that this is a movement or an engagement towards change, so a driven engagement towards change or towards movement, seen from a central position or led from a central position, filled in with a certain content. You could say interpretation, but that's not what it says. With a certain content at a certain place, in which is created an interaction. And in this case, it's an interaction process, but that's not what it says. Here you have the description of dance. How could you describe dance better than just simply reading the reference points and see what it says? I'm not making this up. These are the reference points of the letters, and the letter reference points, if you understand them, they always tell you what need to be shown, or what is interpreted, mostly unconsciously, in which direction you have to think to understand the concept. The concept of dance is the movement of or change seen from a central position, filled in at the right place where you're pushed towards to, and there you create the interaction process in this case. So the English word is slightly different. Let's go to the English word. We don't pronounce it as dance, we pronounce it as dance. So let's have the A in it. I explained before, also in the last video, that the A is an extension of what you have, and when it's oral, it's a background extension. So the background, which is also the reality, the full focus, the concept, the background, the whole reference point, but not the combination of activity. The combination of activity you have here already, but the reference point where this activity is referring to, how it is spreading it, how it is extending, you can see in the letter A. And the letter A, does it have to be? In fact, it has to repeat the same pattern. It has to, in the wide sense, and in the vertical sense, you can add the elements. Mostly it's the same elements that you know, or you can even add new elements. That's the kind of interpretation that allows you to add in A. So what do we have done at the end? It's not just dance, it is written with a C, so the C will give you even something extra. The C, in addition, in the background, will allow you to fill in more variations in these extensions, so that you can even interpret it a little bit and still keep it together, keep it as a structure together, which is the C. So yeah, for one hand, the direction from what guides you personally and presses you towards the whole set of movements in which you can interpret, and of course there's an interaction possible as well. So it works in two directions. If I now look up the word dance on the internet via Google and I look for images, I will get first images of persons, logically, because it's connected with persons. So simply because it's also connected with movement, I'll put in Google dance plus movement. It clearly is about that movement. Then I get another picture, and this picture looks like that, and this is what it's about. It's the movement that you, the steps that you do with your feet, with your directions and your orientation. From the point of view of the letters, it is led by one person especially, which is also clear in the dance, and the interaction needs to follow. It's there in the word. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This was another example of the sound in form. Under the sound in form are the directions of the theory. Theory is not easy. Go through all the layers. Only after a while you will make the association more spontaneously. I hope to make a more popular book that with easy associations, but you need to have a very good preparation of these layers, so that you can have a grasp on why every letter exists at that particular point in time and space, and why it existed, how it works in our mind of distincting patterns in general, and so on and so on and so on. All these things are written in the book and are explained as a study. The explanations how to do so you can find with examples in this YouTube channel. There's a website too, which is updated now and then. And this YouTube channel is there for you as a guidance to give you simply examples. They are not meant as proofs that this works. That's what you decide. I'm not going to decide that, but I'm simply making a practical adaptation of the theory and find out how they interconnect. And for me, it's sure that all the letter combinations are relevant. And so the smallest significant part in there are not the letters themselves, but the method which combines them, the reference points that are real, but you need a certain way of thinking to think with them, to use the reference points and see where they lead you to. To do that consciously, it will take some time. You can learn it just simply by already watching the videos. Thanks again. Bye bye.